All right, I think. Welcome to episode 146 of Lone Star Jazz. Welcome to episode 146 of Lone Star Jazz. A little bit late, still trying to get my YouTube chops down. I think what it is partly the Rockdale internet, partly I've got so many windows open here on the computer that was being kind of bulky. So I was on for 8 minutes apparently, and I got rid of that video. Fortunately, I didn't say anything untoward. Episode 146 of Lone Star Jazz, we'll talk about all of the both online virtual events that are happening this weekend and week, because I'm doing one show a week on Friday at 1 o'clock or a little after Texas time, but also just musings about different subjects in jazz. And today I thought about what to talk about, and we were out doing yard work this morning, and I had my Spotify on, and it had Frank Sinatra at the Sands came up. And of course that was great gig in 1966, and an album that was one of the three albums that Frank Sinatra recorded with the Count Basie Band. And it reminded me, of course, it's a phenomenal album, but it reminded me of the story that the great Al Gray told when I was at the Moscow Jazz Festival back in late 90s. And somebody asked him about Frank Sinatra, and he said, "I'll never say a bad thing about Frank Sinatra." Apparently, when they were going to do that album, they were the mob bosses that own the casinos, the casino owners, were just going to put Frank Sinatra and Count Basie's name on the marquee. And Sinatra, who was all about the musicians, he went to the owners and said, "No, the Count Basie Band. You don't understand. It's like being backed by the New York Yankees of jazz. You've got to put all their names on the marquee." And sure enough, he did, and that became the album cover of Sinatra at the Sands. And a phenomenal album. I think it's a double album. And then the second, of course, my main reminiscence of the Basie Band was still the best concert I've ever seen. September of 1981, I got to see the Count Basie Band live at Paramount Theater in Austin. I sat center, dead center, 10th row. And that was with Count Basie at the helm. He died a few years later. And that was a phenomenal album, a phenomenal gig. Bob Summers on trumpet, of course, Freddie Green on guitar. I can almost tell you all the tunes they played. It was phenomenal. But the group that warmed up for the Basie Band that night was a group called Passport, and it was put together to feature a young Austin vocalist named Carmen Bradford, and that ended up being her audition for Count Basie. He wanted to hear her sing, and they warmed up for the Count Basie Band, and she was absolutely phenomenal. That was Bill Ginn and Mitch Watkins and the late great Buff Mannion. My first I got to play with him many times after that. But Carmen Bradford, and I wanted to mention her because she's been the vocalist for the Count Basie Band ever since, and she is the featured person on my friend Christian Wigg's show, Off the Bandstand. And he does a Facebook / YouTube channel show. So definitely check that out. And I believe that show dropped last night, and a lot of great remembrances. Carmen Bradford talking about her experiences being live at the Basie Band. I think she got some things to say about her experiences in the Austin jazz community as well. So anyway, my three kind of favorite under the radar Basie albums. Of course, everybody's got their favorite Basie albums, but my favorite kind of under the radar Basie albums, I have three. The first one, my favorite Basie album all time, is Basie Plays Hefty, and it was 1958, and it's all Neil Hefti tunes. Little Darling is on there. The first recording, and I got into an argument with a friend of mine on the bandstand one night. The first recording of Cute ever was on that album. So, and I looked that up, and that is correct. And actually, "Cute" is a great tune. It's my least favorite tune on that album, which tells you how good that album is. Basie plays hefty live. My second favorite underappreciated Basie album. Let me think. I got them in order. Of course, we talked about Sinatra and the Sands. Actually, it was Count Basie live in Japan, 1978. And I mentioned that to John Clayton. Of course, that's one of the albums that John Clayton, the great bass player, played on. And he remembers when he first played with Basie that he set up, when he set up where he set up to play, he would set up right on Basie's left hand so he could look over Count Basie, because Basie still played a lot of stride, and Basie would interject, and Basie would play some stride notes. And of course, John, having great ears, that would tell him those were the notes that Basie wanted on certain chords. And they weren't always the root. Sometimes they were third, sometimes they were seventh. But it's real interesting, John Clayton, very young John Clayton, learning at the left hand of the great Count Basie. And then my third favorite underappreciated Basie album, and it is Sarah Vaughan, and he did. I know he did 3 albums with Frank Sinatra. He did at least 2 albums with Sarah Vaughan. The first one was 1961, and it was all Thad Jones arrangements except for 2 of the tunes. So I need to go back and check that album. But the other one was recorded in 1981. The actual name of the album is Sarah Vaughan with the Count Basie Orchestra, and it's called Send and the Clowns. And she's done a lot of great recordings of Send and the Clowns and live recordings and things like that. But that one from that album is my favorite with the Basie album, with the Basie band. And also the tune "I've Got a Right to Sing the Blues." Check that out off of that album, which I believe Sammy Nesco did the arrangement of that, which also there's spots in that tune that became the Sammy Nesco tune "Blue Chip," which you'll want to check that out. Anyway, so 3 great Basie albums to check out. Now, here's what's going on in Austin, and going around the state of Texas. If you're not checking out a 4A or under high school football game, you can check out some great jazz events tonight online at monksjazz.com, and also I recommend going to their YouTube page, YouTube channel. The fidelity is better. It's a Sam Pankey Trio, and it's going to be live at 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Live at the East Austin Piano Shop, but you'll have to check it out online. And it is Sam Pankey, phenomenal bass player. And I'm trying to see, Sean Giddings on piano and Daniel Dufour on drums. And that's tonight at 7:30. Colin Shook does a great job presenting those. Tuesday night, I believe, let me check the calendar. I believe it's Tuesday night is going to be John Blondell and the John Blondell Quintet. Let me click over to September for that. It is Tuesday night, and it's John Blondell and his quintet, 7:30 start. Again, East Austin Piano Shop, and it's live stream. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Dr. Jim Rose, Bob Patton on piano, John Fremgen on bass, and Mike Gordon on drums, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Also mention that I've got, with the Sparky Thomason Quintet, I've got a September date with the Monks Jazz Club. We just don't know what the date is going to be yet. It's one of 2 dates, and I can't release that yet until I find out what day it's going to be. But Colin Shook doing a great job with the monksjazz.com, and hopefully at some point back doing some of the live broadcasts, or not live broadcasts, but live gigs again at places like Revival Coffee and things like that. Colin Shook there with Monks Jazz Club. Also at Parker Jazz Club down on 4th Street, they're going to be doing the live stream thing too. Tonight will be the Parker House Club Band with Chris Kimura and birthday boy Danny Sanchez. I'll have some birthday listings for today of some great Texas musicians, jazz musicians. Let's see. Parker Jazz House Club tonight, band at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow night will be great, phenomenal vocalist Courtney Santana. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I'm presuming that's with the House Club, Parker House Band backing her up. Chris Kimura and Danny Sanchez and Ben Treesh and Ryan Davis. And then on Sunday night will be Pamela Hart, a great vocalist and piano. On Sunday night, also at 8 o'clock. live from the Parker Jazz Club, but on the live stream. Again, they've got a YouTube channel, so go check that out there, or you can do it from their website. Going down to San Antonio, I believe, yes, that'll be next. And I already mentioned the Christian Wiggs off the bandstand. Check his shows out. He's done. I did a show with him. Mike Saylors did a show with him, and the latest one, of course, is the great Count Basie Band vocalist Carmen Bradford, which dropped last night. Down in San Antonio, Doc Watkins is doing his show live from Jazz Texas, but it will be live streamed. You can definitely pull up, call ahead for food or drinks from there. His trio, Doc Watkins on piano, Brandon Guerra on drums, and Mike Porter on bass. And their special guest tonight is Rafael Mora, who is a vocalist there in San Antonio. And that's an 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Check out, either on Facebook or the YouTube channel as well. And then on Saturday night, tomorrow night, will be the same group with Devin Jones on guitar and singing. Devin Jones, leader of his great group. Devin Jones, Stomp. I'm trying to remember the name of the group, but phenomenal kind of 30s and 40s hot club type thing going on there at Doc Watkins Jazz Texas. And then also tonight at 7 o'clock, I saw on Chris Alvarado's Facebook page, our Dirty River Jazz Band is going to be doing a live stream, and I think they've got a YouTube page, but I know for sure you can see it on their Facebook page, on at least on Chris Alvarado's Facebook page for sure. But I'm pretty sure they have a YouTube page as well. Matter of fact, I think that's what that means. You can check that out. But and that's tonight at 7 o'clock with the Dirty River Dixie Band. Let's go over to Houston, and they've started doing live shows again, I believe, at Cezanne. They're doing them still at the Glade Cultural Center, and that's out at the Woodlands at 2000 Woodlands Parkway, and that's an 8 o'clock to 10:30, 8 o'clock start tomorrow night with Alex Navarro, and he's doing solo piano, and that's part of the Cezanne Presents series, and that's going to be social distanced and all that stuff that you got to do out there. 8 o'clock tomorrow night at the Glade Cultural Center at the Woodlands. Like I said, Woody's going to be opening up Cezanne at some point again, and that's going to be the downstairs of Beer Paredes downtown, and he'll announce that. He'll make big announcements on and you'll definitely know about it if you check out Houston Jazz, and also check out the Houston Jazz Facebook page as well. Going up to the DFW, they've got some live events, and one of the places at the Freeman Cajun Cafe and Lounge. Their food sure looks great on their website. It's at 2626 Commerce Street. Of course, social distancing and all that stuff with their shows. Bobby Falk Group tonight at 10 o'clock on the small stage. Mahogany the Artist tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on the large stage. Alex Blair on the small stage at 10 o'clock. Sunday night will be Lenny Nance on the large stage at 7 o'clock, and then they do their blues jam on the large stage at 10 o'clock. And then the small stage will be the jazz jam as well. I'm trying to see, it says hosted by, and I can't pull that up who it's hosted by, but it's going to be really cool. Brianna Parker Group Monday night at 7 o'clock. Shelly Carroll's Monday night session at 7 o'clock. And then the JGQ at 10 o'clock on Monday night. Tuesday night will be the Freeloaders at 7 o'clock. I'm trying to just pick off things that I know are trio. Peter Roux's Canadian. I had no idea, of course, RIOUX, possibly French-Canadian connection there. 7 o'clock on Wednesday night. And then Thursday night will be the Ben Holt Kills It trio at 7 o'clock, and then the Found at 10 o'clock. And then Kazunori Tanaka at quartet at 10 o'clock also. Friday night will be Peter Roux Quintet, and then we'll talk quartet, and we'll talk more about that next week on next week's show. And then at Revelers Hall, waiting on Revelers Hall to pull up, and that's on 412. Let me wait on that address. The internet's being slow here. Pulling that up. I forgot to do San Antonio. I forgot to finish with San Antonio. I'll go back and about some KRTU sponsored events. They're coming up as well. Let me click out of some things here. That's 412 North Bishop is Revelers Hall, and they A lot of great live events. The Unfaded Brass Band is tonight at 8 o'clock until midnight. And of course, those are social distance events. The Black Powder Vipers, Dallas's premier traditional jazz ensemble, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Jonathan Fisher Quartet on Sunday night, and that's with Peter Rue, also Shelley Carroll and Andrew Griffith with the quartet. And that'll be a 6 o'clock start there on Sunday night. And then next week, Wednesday night will be Shelley Carroll. He's got a regular Wednesday night gig there, 7:20 to 10:20 on Wednesday night. And then the Bishop Avenue Hot Six will be on Thursday night at 7 o'clock, and that's going to feature I imagine they're probably trying to reimagine some of the great music of the Hot Five and Hot Seven recordings of Louis Armstrong and things like that. And that's at Revelers Hall, 412 North Bishop Avenue in Dallas. Let's see, what else? Some of the KRTU, they've got some online streaming events coming up. September 24th, that's a Thursday night, will be the South Texas Jazz Project. And that's a regular show that they've been doing for, I think 10 years. But they're going to be doing some live streaming music series. It's actually called the STJP Live Streaming Music Series. And it's at the Little Carver Theater down on the east side. And I'll promote that some more, but that's in September. And that's going to be the Regency Jazz Band with George Prado. And they're going to be doing one Thursday, the last Thursday of the month. And then Alamo City Jazz Series is going to be doing some things. And that's in October. And they're going to be, I think right now they're planning on it being live and social distance, but that's going to be in October, so things may change until then. But it's going to be the great saxophone player Everett Harp and Tim Bowman, vocalist and guitar player. And that's the Alamo City Jazz Series, and that's going to start on Sunday, October 11th. Hopefully we'll be back to normal by then, I would think. All right, and some birthdays of some jazz peoples. Today's got me there. Some people's birthdays. Brent Caldwell, the president of the society, his birthday is today. I won't say how old he is, but he's the same. He's a few months older than me, if that helps you. Let me see. I'm waiting on the birthdays to come up. I already mentioned Danny Sanchez, drummer at Parker Jazz Club, and also the leader of the Genesis Drum and Bugle Corps. Birthday today as well, so happy birthday to Dano. Kenny Williams, great singer that sings at the Parker Jazz Club, also his birthday is today. Let's see who else in Texas. There were a few. John McGaldy, who runs the John McGaldy Jazz Orchestra, Primetime Jazz Orchestra in San Antonio, saxophone player there. Mark Little, great jazz saxophone player in San Antonio, his birthday as well. Annie Hernandez, great jazz vocalist down in the valley, down in McAllen, her birthday as well. And Rosanna Eckert, the jazz vocal teacher at University of North Texas, her birthday as well as Jim Rotundi and Mike Matheny, a couple of great jazz trumpet players. And that is it for birthdays today. I'll start making that a regular feature as well. So thank y'all very much. This has been episode 146. I will see y'all next Friday for episode 147 of Lone Star Jazz. Y'all stay safe out there and go check out some high school football or some Lone Star Jazz and some great jazz, either online or live up in Dallas and in Houston. Catch y'all later. We'll see y'all next week.